We're just a few hours away from mass action. Yeah. We're just a few hours away from Firimbi Yababa that will start the countrywide demonstrations, yeah, for electoral justice over the 2022 presidential elections. And what is super fascinating to take note of is that Ruto has changed his tone. I don't know if you've noticed that. In a recent speech, he actually appealed to Raila Odinga and ODM to abandon the massive demonstrations. The same demonstrations, he told us, and UDA people told us, were irrelevant, a non-issue. They would have zero impact. You know, we are told actions speak louder than words. And clearly the actions here contradict the earlier words we were given. Yeah, that you can demonstrate as much as you want. You can hold as many demonstrations as you want. We'll even give you security. Hakuna kitu itafanyika. Well, the actions now prove very clearly that those words were not true. Okay? Because otherwise, why the change of heart? Why the change of tune? Why the change of strategy? It's as simple as that. You know, there are those Kenyans who still hold on to the belief that nothing will happen. Now, I want to persuade those Kenyans to take a closer look at what is happening in the country currently. Don't limit yourself to the demonstrations. Link the planned demonstrations to the environment, to what is unfolding in the country. Now, as I speak, there is a fuel shortage in the country. Yeah, and this has been triggered by the shortage of US dollars to import oil. Importers in Kenya are having issues getting enough dollars to meet their obligations, yeah, to import products and goods to the country. And the crucial oil sector has not been spared. Now, looking at that issue alone, what do you think the impact is going to be? Yeah, because we import a lot of things. Even some locally manufactured items cannot be manufactured without imported components, yeah, which are part of the process. Money is tight. There is no food. There is no rain. And then when all this is unfolding, politicians are speaking a language that is very difficult for ordinary Kenyans to understand. A man called Cleophas, Shackles of Doom, Malala, is now the Secretary General of the UDA party and is very busy flexing his muscles, issuing statements about how UDA is being reorganized and strengthened. Excuse me? When a government comes into power and finds problems, instead of focusing on those problems and those problems alone, instead of chasing away the wolf before you can look into other issues, like warning the hens not to stray, that government starts getting involved in other non-urgent, non-important, non-priority issues, like reorganizing a political party. How do you think the ordinary Kenyan is reacting to that? What do you think the response is of the many supporters of Malala who believe, especially from that play which he penned some years ago, supporters who believe that is the voice of the ordinary constituent? What do you think those people are thinking? And Malala is not the only one. There are people like Senate Majority Leader Aaron Cheriot, who in a recent tweet told Kenyans that the Kenya Kwanza government is going to crush all cartels. But there are two sectors in Kenya that are going to prove to be difficult to handle: the press and banks. But he concludes in his tweet, a way must be found to handle the two, implying that the press and the bank also have to be crushed. And remember, let's put the banks aside for a minute. And remember that we have had so many statements, even from people like Rigathi Gachagua, criticizing the press, complaining about the press, which is a very vital, important, significant component of any democracy. What they're actually saying is that the press should toe the line like in Moi days, and sing the UDA song instead of doing their job of impartial reporting. Of course, the implication is that UDA believe impartial reporting is where UDA is always painted in good light. Nothing negative is said about them or reported about them. Hiyo ulisikia wapi? What democracy runs with a press that supports the government? You tell me, which one? In my opinion, most politicians these days, every time they open their mouth, UD and Kenya Kwanza politicians, they're just making Kenyan voters even angrier. They're inciting Kenyans. So it is in that kind of environment that we're due to start the massive demonstrations countrywide against the government. So do you still believe nothing will happen? You tell me. There are just way too many people with nothing to lose because they've lost everything. And it seems that the government is not aware of this. Or if they are, they don't care. God Almighty help Kenya. Have mercy on our country. Until next time, this is Chris. Kumekucha. Exactly 101 years ago, this March, something happened in Nairobi. Something serious. On 14th March 1922, Harry Thuku was arrested. People heard Harry Thuku had been arrested and was being held at the Central Police Station. So almost 10,000 people gathered around that police station, picketing, protesting, demanding that Harry Thuku be released immediately. A woman called Rosemary Nyanjiru. And so as the peaceful protest was going on, Rosemary Nyanjiru approached the soldiers and told them, "Mbona hamtoi hizo suruali mtupatie sisi wanawake hapa? Hamna kazi." Somebody opened fire on Rosemary Nyanjiru and the firing continued and continued. The official death toll was 20. The real figure was at least 1,000 Kenyans lost their lives that day for a better Kenya.